Hello and welcome to Musical Widescreen Video Edition. I'm here with Jonus Lindberg. And am I pronouncing it right? Does it have any flourish that I missed or anything?
No, that sounds right.
Okay, very good. And it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
This new album I got and immediately loved. There's some real bombast in here. And I see, some of your influences, are new and older progressive rock. And when I listen to the first two tracks from this album, let me see if I can remember what they are. Secret Motive Man and Little Man.
Yeah.
Just really nice, bombastic. Your vocals are just clean and sometimes exciting towards the end of these songs. And I was wondering what you felt like your strengths are in this whole album. For me, in the opening stuff, I really feel like the bombast is really amazing. And certainly you play you're doing bass guitar, keyboards, and vocals on this thing. So do you consider yourself a multi-instrumentalist? Tell me a little bit about the other side as well, if you could.
Yeah. Well, I consider myself to be a bass player mainly. Okay. But I play, I mentioned earlier before and that I work part-time as a music teacher too. So I teach both bass and guitar.
Okay.
And I've been playing piano and keyboard since I was little. So
okay.
But bass is the one thing that people hire me to do.
Okay.
So
okay. So if you're going to tour this, you would be the bass player.
Yeah,
I got you. Okay.
Or I would like to be the bass player at least.
Right.
And then I'm singing on a few tracks. The ones you mentioned are sung by Jonas Sundqvist, who is singing on the Pathfinder album. Who also co-wrote them with me, and I'm singing the background vocals on those. But I'm singing lead vocal on Oceans of Time, Why I'm Here, and also the slow part of the epic.
Yeah,
which is in the middle.
And there is an epic there. 25 minutes. So we're not kidding around here, and that's one of my highlights to this album as well.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, it's just such a great. It's like when I listen to that song, I'm like, has it been 25 minutes already? Wow.
Yeah,
it's really the best compliment I can really give an epic track like that.
Right.
How did that one kind of evolve? Was it always going to be a pretty long song, and it just grew, or did it really grow as you wrote it?
It grew as I wrote it, because I had a bunch of themes that I was sort of I didn't know what to do with them. So I tried to put them together, and then it didn't go anywhere. So I just felt like, well, maybe this isn't a song, until I started putting more themes in there. And then I started to feel like it was an overture. And that's when things started happening, because I could write these parts out of that overture themes.
Well, it definitely, you have it here as one of your influences, Flower Kings, and for some reason at that point I kind of heard it. I didn't hear it really before that. Have you? So do you actually listen to other music while you're writing? I've only got an answer to yes from one artist that they actually are listening to other music. Is that something that you do or do not do?
No, I listen to music all the time.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite things to do. Although sometimes when you're working intensely on something, then you might not want to listen to anything, because it's you need to rest your ears. But I like listening to lots of different kinds of music, not only progressive rock. Mm-hmm. So I listen to, Flower Kings is one of my big influences. Pink mm-hmm. Floyd, Spock's Beard, mm-hmm. And a lot of country and bluegrass, and also Swedish folk music.
Right. Interesting. Is there any collaboration between Swedish folk music and progressive rock? Is anybody blending that together out there?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
Hmm.
Roine Stolt does it in
Yeah.
Flower Kings, and and also the Swedish band Kaipa
Okay. Okay.
do that, and I incorporate some stuff as well, so melodies here and there.
Right. That seems like a great thing. And Roina is actually on this. He's on Miles from Nowhere. I see playing
Yeah.
guitar. How did how did that come to be?
Well, when I wrote it, I wanted to feature a big ending, with the majestic ending, and I got a guitar solo in there,
Mm.
and I had been thinking for a while already on the Pathfinder album to include one influence of mine, or someone that I actually listen to.
Right.
But it didn't happen back then, so I thought, well, this solo here is perfect for Roy Stolt. So
Hmm.
I sent him a message and asked him if he wanted to.
And is that the first time you emailed him or contacted him, or did you have a little bit? Did you ever
No,
open for them or anything?
no, that was the first time.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I still haven't really I haven't met him in person yet. So
Okay. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now Simon Williamson,
this
I think I
Simon
know.
is an old classmate of mine, and
Okay.
we've been playing. He actually lives in Finland now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we've been touring together a lot. So we had some days off in the
Oh,
middle of a tour, and I had a few songs that didn't have drums on them yet. So I asked if he wanted to play.
oh, wonderful.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, because and now I see you have on drums. You also have a Jonathan Lundberg. Is that just
Yeah.
to confuse people? You got a Jonus Lindberg and a
Yeah.
Jonathan Lundberg.
Well, it confused the mastering engineer once, because we were mastered at the same guy right after one another.
Right. I could
Uh,
definitely see that.
but Jonathan has been playing since The Other Side in 2013, so he's the main drummer.
So, what is the other side about? Do you want to tell me why it's not just Jonas Lundberg's band, or is there some meaning there? Is there some dark secret from your past that we should know about or not know about?
You never know. Well, The Other Side. Well, it's when I wrote that particular EP, the Other Side, and finished that, I sort of wanted to have, I work with a lot of different types of music, and I wanted an outlet for my progressive rock music.
I see.
So I put together a project, and I didn't want to just want it to be called Jonus Lindberg. So I thought, well, if maybe I can call it like Frank Zappa and the Mothers, or something like that.
Right.
And then I can feature whoever is available in the band.
Right. Makes sense. And it kind of came from an early EP, the name, and it kind of mirrors what what Roina did with the Flower Kings, right? It was a solo project, and
Yeah.
then they named it after a song from their first album, right? So that's kind of interesting, kind of symmetry there. And so how long did it take you to write this album? Was there a start date, or was there leftover material that you started from? And how did it all come down?
Well, it started, well, I spent a long time writing it because I was touring quite a lot with other stuff as well at the time. So, but whenever I could, I worked on songs, and I actually started with an old one, The Summer Queen.
Okay.
Which is a song that we originally wrote back in college, and but I felt it wasn't properly recorded back then, so I wanted to see if I could make the Other Side version of it.
Okay.
And so that's what started it, and then I worked on Astral Journey after that.
Okay.
And then things sort of just came as they went, really.
Right. And I mean, it doesn't sound old. I assume that you went in there and you did. This isn't very close. How close is it to the original mix that you had, as far as notes go, not as far as like engineering of it?
It's actually intact. I actually
Okay.
extended it. So
Okay.
so the intro and outro
Mhm.
weren't there, but the rest of it is pretty much the same.
Okay, interesting. That's awesome.
Mm.
And what is the progressive rock community like where you live? I mean, is there, can you get a decent following? It seems like it's much better than America, but I don't know if it's if you know how it is in general.
I think it's from what I understand, it's bigger in Europe than it is in Sweden.
Okay.
Sweden is there's a lot of musicians listening to progressive rock, I think, but not so much in
Yeah.
my what do you say, in my
Neighborhood
yeah, well, well,
people.
among my people, my friends.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
It's more music for musicians and less for the and
yeah,
less for the listeners.
yeah.
Interesting, because I would think because there's such great music coming from your country there that I would
Mm.
think that it would be a little bit better than you mentioned here. Um,
But
and
I think it's growing because I actually went to see Flower Kings and Spock's Beard and Neil Moore's band
Mhm,
and different bands in Stockholm,
mhm.
which we couldn't do 10 years ago because they
R-
weren't playing here. So
Right. Well, that's good. Is that now I'm trying to think, was there a festival there called something goes progressive, like Sweden goes progressive, Slotsogen, something like that? Maybe it's a different country that starts with an S
mm,
that I'm
that
getting confused with.
sounds familiar.
I was hoping that my producer was around to give me a little help, but it
Mm.
hasn't been on for a while. Anyway, so it seems like it's there's a lot of there could be some growth there, certainly because of all the great uh, bands from around the area
Mm.
that I particularly like. Did so I was one other question I have for you is you have some track suggestions here in the first press release I got long
Mm.
ago. Secret Motive Man, Oceans of Time, and Miles from Nowhere were track suggestions. Now, is that something that you picked, and why would you direct people to those songs in particular?
Well, the Miles from Nowhere because it's the big epic of the album, and I
Yeah.
think that also features the best performances of everybody.
Okay.
I mean, it's got the best. Jonathan plays the best drumming on that one, and
Mm,
it's got the best solos from all the guitarists, and Roy is there too.
right.
And also one thing that I really think is uh, probably the best part of the album is Jonas's vocals right before Roy comes in.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is like his. He mentioned that too. Like I think this might be my best take ever.
I'll have to listen for that.
Yeah, and also Oceans of Time is a really strong track,
Mhm.
which also has been released as a single and a video.
Right.
And also Secret Motive Man, I think it's gonna be the last single now,
Okay.
coming out in a few weeks, and that one is also well, it's most to me one of the most interesting songs. Speaking of the arrangement,
Mhm.
there's a lot of things happening.
Interesting. Well, I will tell you is one of the reasons I asked that is I rate the songs as I go through them, and I have them
Hmm.
for my radio show. I like to know if somebody like requests you, and I'm
Mm.
like I don't remember my favorite songs by name. I have the rating, so I can just go ahead and play it and know. And I had those three songs rated the highest, and I had Little Man up there as well with these
Mm.
three. And as I listened to it more, those they may fluctuate, but I definitely thought that this album was it stood out because I get many submissions a month. I get more than one a day, some typically about three a day, and I was very happy to hear this, and I was sad that I have Pathfinder and I don't have it rated, and I think I need to go back to that one. That's how strong I think this album is. That I need to go
Yeah.
listen to the rest of your discography because
Okay.
it's I really like now where I'm finding out that it's Jonus is vocals. I definitely like his vocals, and I certainly like, we call our show Music in Widescreen because we like the bombast, and definitely you have that in your songs. They're epic. They're a journey. They lead somewhere, and I feel like I'm rewarded at the end of them, even if it's not every song can't be bombastic, but the ones that are, I think, executed very well. And I'm looking forward to sharing this album with our listeners, as well as hearing what else you have coming down the line. Do you want to talk about? We talked a little bit off camera about how you went from self-release to releasing by Inside Out, and I don't know if other people feel this way, but when I hear Inside Out signs a band, but I actually do feel like, okay, well, that's a feather in their cap, because when they sign somebody, I usually like it. So maybe it shouldn't be that way, but it is for me. And do you want to talk about how they ultimately signed you, seeing that I feel like it's a positive for you?
Well, I had released one single, and I was releasing the other one, Oceans of Time, and I was sending stuff out to everyone, to promote it, and it found its way to Roy Avin, at the Prog Report, and he wrote me back and said, do you have anybody helping you with promotion? I said no, and he said, I can help you there. So
nice.
And he started sending stuff out to people, and then I got an email from him where he had sent it to Thomas Waber at Inside Out, who then answered me like, we have a release lot in February. Do you wanna work with us?
Oh, okay, great.
So that's really how that happened.
That's awesome. Like I said, it's I'm glad that they helped you out and put you on the radar here, because otherwise I don't think I would have missed it, because I had it and I had rated the song. Is there any questions I should ask, or anything else we should talk about before I let you go? Tour dates, or I assume if it's Inside Out, you can just get it anywhere. Is there anywhere that is better for them to buy it, that you get more of the proceeds, anything like that?
Well, I think you can get it almost anywhere where Inside Out music can be bought, and you can get it at my website as well.
Okay.
At Lindbergmusic.com.
Lindbergmusic.com. Okay, I will put the link on the screen at this point. Great. Okay, and any, I mean, I know there's a pandemic going on, but is there any thought about playing this live at some point, or?
Yeah, there's nothing planned yet, but I'm sort of waiting to see where everything will go with the pandemic. But as soon as it's better,
Yeah.
As soon as things get better, then I for sure want to start playing live. So.
Okay.
So there may be live dates in the future. You need to look ahead.
Okay, that sounds good. And of course, it'll be a little bit more difficult for you than for maybe other bands, seeing that you're going to have to get some band members around to tour this.
Yeah, well, I have all the band members except the keyboard player. So because I'm playing keyboards, but I want to play bass.
Right.
So I need to get a keyboard player.
And so would is it Kaylee? Would he or she be playing guitars then, or
who?
I have Stallenbring for guitars on my list.
Kalle Stålenbring.
Very good.
Yeah. A very
Swedish
name.
Very Swedish name. And because I didn't realize you had a lot of people on guitars here. You have you're not only yourself, but you have Kalle and Nicholas as well.
Yeah. And also my brother Joel is playing on one song.
Oh, right.
Joel. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So
we got a lot of guitar players, but no keyboard player.
Well, maybe somebody can play the keyboard parts on the guitar.
Yeah, that might work.
That would be a different sound for sure. All right. Well, hey, I want to thank you, Jonas, for hanging out with me for a little bit.
Thank you.
We'll air this on YouTube, and we'll feature the album the first Sunday it's released after the release date, and we'll play parts of this video, and it should be a great. I assume this will be a great success. I'm really excited for you, and I
Yeah, I
think
hope
that
so.
I think everything will go well for you.